Hi everyone, my name is Bright Ong. I am the Puppetry and Movement Director for the amazing Celestial Race. A Puppetry Director basically helps the team and the creative team to bring the show to life through the usage of puppets and, in our case, a lot of headgear and masks. So in this case, there are 3 different types of puppets that we use in the show and a lot of movement-based work with the headgear. So what we do first when we create a show like this is to look through the narrative and look through what the story is asking of us. Right? So using puppets and headgear, how can we then mold it to tell the story in the most effective way possible? We looked at the different styles of movement that we could use and also using different types of puppetry and the different styles of puppetry to bring the show to life. So we've got a couple of rod puppets like the birds, we've got handheld puppets like the snake, and I've got another puppet that I don't think I can quite mention on this particular video. So you've got to come down and watch the show for yourself. Well, Frankie Yo of Mascots and Puppet Specialist, he is kind of like the Shifu and the grandmaster of making puppets in Singapore. And he's got such a wealth of experience. It's insane that how lucky I am to be working closely alongside him and under his wing. So for this particular show, what I've done is to look at what the script and the narrative and the story needs, and then go back to him and go, these are the styles of puppets that I think will work best. So it was a very intentional thing to not have the birds have lip sync, but to have a very agile and mobile head, and have the reasons why the wings only go out one way as opposed to flapping. So yeah. Well, it was a really fun process working the actors because I think they are such a fun bunch to begin with, and taking that level of insanity and madness and craziness to another level is always going to be a joy. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I think for them it was quite a bit of a challenge as well, playing so many different characters and not just using movement but with puppets as well. So their brains were working at 200% the whole time, and on top of that they had to learn how to act, sing and dance at the same time. So well done those guys. Never in a million years would I have guessed that this would be my first gig with Wild Rice. So I'm really happy, and I would say I'm really thankful and grateful to be working in a time like this. But also that a company like Wild Rice, a big company like Wild Rice, is so progressive and positive and open to hiring a specialist director. So not many other companies in Singapore would do the same. And thank you for seeing that puppetry and movement is such a specific art form. And yeah, thanks for hiring me. Hey, so this is B1, and she features quite heavily in this show. She is one of the 2 narrators that we have, or the 2 puppet narrators that we have in the amazing Celestial Race. So as you can see, this particular puppet was modeled after the Sun Conure, and it was built by Frankie Yo of Mascots and Puppet Specialists. The way the feathers have been laid on, all this is individually stamped on and glued on. And if you look at her wings, her plumage, if you will, let's find her. All this was individually measured to a very precise measurement in order for them to work. Yeah. So Frankie was sharing with me how when he was making the puppet, if one screw was just a millimeter off place, right, this whole wing mechanism would not work. We put a little tennis grip on the handle just for the actors to get a little bit more friction. Yeah. And she's got, of course, these 2 controls here, one for the head to move up and down. It's a trigger. There's a small minor details we had to double check with the actors before we built them. Were they left or right-handed? Because of course that would affect the position of where we put the trigger. Yeah. This controls her left and right movement of the head. Yeah. Up and down, left and right, and then all together. And if you're wondering, yes, these feathers were all spray painted. Yeah, bit by bit, feather by feather, just to get the right shadowing and the coloration. This is how you generally bring a puppet to life, or rather for most puppets. And the first thing I will start with, of course, is the breathing of the puppet. So, if let's say she was perching on me, I'll let my breath sink into hers. And the second thing, of course, is then activating the eye line. And making sure that my eye line goes through the puppet, and it will never be me looking directly at another character on stage unless it's a purposeful breakaway moment.
Yeah, but it's always going to be me looking through that puppet eye line. Yeah. And then of course, adding things like thought, and then eventually the action of what this puppet's going to do. And doing all that while singing, dancing, and acting. So yeah, that's how you bring a little bit to life.
Oh, hello there. Nice to meet you. Do you mind if I fly around? Oh, well, that's lovely. Lovely day to flying around the bar stage. Whoa! Oh, that was nice. Some morning warm-ups. Oh boy.
What I love most about puppetry is that, and this is something I tell my students all the time, actors pretend, but puppets are. Yeah, puppets have, no political ego about themselves. They are who they are because they represent something that is true and pure. Whereas actors, you could be the best actor in the world, but you are definitely bringing a certain side of your politics on stage when you form a character. Whereas puppets can say whatever they want and get away with it. Yeah.